The streets are empty. Nobody's walking around in the streets. The dogs should not be barking. Normally, people have dogs in their house to warn them if there's an invader or an intruder or a visitor or a stranger inside or near their house. That is the purpose of having a dog, so a dog could protect your house when you're sleeping or when you're awake or when you're gone. Why would the dogs be barking at 2 o'clock in the morning if there's nobody walking around in front of anybody's house? Why would all the dogs be barking if nobody is walking around in the streets? If there's no stranger, no invader, no intruder, no person walking around in the street, why did the dogs bark? I will tell you why. In the houses where the dogs are barking right now is where the soldiers and the terrorist group that the soldiers are paying and are under control. The soldiers are controlling terrorism groups and organized crime groups. These are American soldiers. Where you hear the dogs barking is where these terrorist group members and soldiers have people kidnapped, hostages, and they are either raping the baby girls, the women, or they are torturing a woman or people. That is why the dogs have to bark, so that way people will not be able to record the screams of the women screaming for help that they are being raped. The dogs are trained to bark in a way that sounds like if they were saying, help me, I'm being raped, help me. The dogs are trained to bark in a manner that is almost like if they were speaking to you. The dogs are trained to bark, basically to speak to you with their barking. If you pay attention to the rhythm and the pattern in the way that the dogs and the birds and all the animals chirp and the roosters croak, every animal, they're all trained to either croak in a certain manner, to leave a message, a dog or whatever. But these dogs are used to muffle the sounds of the people that are being victimized at that moment. I'm walking around so that I can show you that there are no people walking around. There is no reason why the dogs should be barking. You see how in the video there's nobody walking by? I'm walking by. This is where the dogs were barking. I'm walking right in front of where the dogs were barking. Why do all of the sudden are the dogs quiet? The dogs are quiet. They're not barking no more. Look. Why? Because in this house there's terrorist group members and soldiers that are American soldiers working for Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, terrorizing people and raping women and babies and torturing other women and babies. In these houses around here is where the soldiers are hiding, torturing people with their organized crime groups, because this is where the dogs were barking. And all of a sudden they stopped barking. Now, there's more proof. I will show you the rest of the recordings tomorrow, and I will present these to the entire world.